What is going on, YouTube? PPS back here. It is Monday. I think this is our first Monday early show that we've done over here for Past the Prop, but we're back. Believe we have an all sports edition again, so you guys are getting a little bit of everything today. I'm here joined with my guy Monotone Football again. How are you doing, Monotone? How was the weekend, and do anything special for Easter?
I spent the weekend in the great state of Newark, New Jersey, I guess. So, really got to, experience the best of what our country has to offer. So I had a great Easter weekend. And yep, I'm kind of catching back up on playoff basketball and getting ready to get some more winners today.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I know 3-game slate, good for a little bit of DFS possibly. Jason's asking how was New Jersey. I'm sure it was did it snow up by you?
No, luckily no snow. It was nice. We had a nice beachy weekend in New Jersey.
Yeah, it snowed about 3 inches here last night. So love that in the middle of April. Baseball season with some snow. Nothing better than that, right? So Ethan in the chat. I think he was on here before we even got on here. So
yeah,
first guy in there. Jay always right behind. And we got Dan in here. Dan's been on a little bit of a run on my YouTube free plays. I always ask people to drop their best bets. He's been on a little run there. I keep fading his Cubs, and I keep losing on that because for some reason the Cubs are doing well. For some reason, I was not expecting that. Thank God I didn't take the under on that, and I just hope my Brewers turn it around. I was at the Brewer game yesterday. They made it interesting. They always find a way to make it interesting, but obviously having the top closer in the game is not too shabby. Makes things a little bit less stressful when you bring them in only up 1 run. And that's New Jersey weather. Yeah, right now it's like 35, but out here in Wisconsin. But it's like I said, we got 2 or 3 inches last night, which is just shitty.
Yeah,
love it. There should be good games, good pitching matchups over there. I know Lauer is on the bump today. Brewers went to a 6-man rotation with Ashby too, so we'll see. You should have some good pitching matchups. I saw Wheeler get blown up a little bit yesterday. The Nationals kind of not playing. Did they just lose the Pirates?
Yes,
with no Brian Reynolds and no Ke'Bryan Hayes.
Correct.
And they lost to that team. They're batting Yoshi Sasugo in the 4. They're batting my old Dan Vogelbach, batting 2. And they started Jake Marisnik in the 1 spot, and they won. I wanted to fade so bad. I wanted to fade so bad just seeing that lineup, and I just like I have to watch this. I just have to watch this. I was so close to just taking the under, and I think it would have went over still. I'm pretty sure, right? I think it was only like 8.
It would have pushed, right? It was 5-3, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I bet the Nats yesterday too. I saw that Pirates lineup, and I was like, "Oh, this is free money right here."
Oh my god,
it was not free money.
That had to be one of the worst lineups I've ever seen, dude. That's like pushing Oakland A's. Like, I think that's worse. I think it's worse with that lineup. But Jason, I do not know. He's been terrible lately. Allen, so they got 2 or 3. And that was unfortunate. That was good. It's a good way to start your Monday morning. So what we're going to do is each one of us will have 1 NBA, 1 MLB spot tonight. And we'll start out with NBA action. And I'll start out with you, Monotone. I'll let you kick it off with your NBA pick of the day today.
Yeah, man. So the Raptors are in a bit of a rough spot right now, right? But it's playoff time. You obviously want to be at full strength. And they're down a couple of their guys. They're down Gary Trent. They're even down a guy like Thad Young. They got multiple guys that are out injured. And what that means is Scotty Barnes obviously is the biggest one that a lot of people saw. And when we look at OG's game logs without some of those guys, right, he's only played 6 games. So we're looking at a small sample size, but he scored 20-plus points in all of those games. So OG's obviously, he's known for the defense. He's a pretty solid scorer. He's still working on it. I wouldn't say he's quite at that level where you could, ask for 20 points on any given day. But when the volume goes up, like I said, every single game, 20-plus points without those 2 guys in the lineup, this team is really going to need him to step up. I mean, he's unarguably going to play 40 minutes. He was playing 40 minutes in the regular season. So we're clearly going to see very high usage right here. and they're going to need him to step up. As for the 76ers to win right here, I like this Raptors team a lot, but the line just you gotta. I was looking for something to pair with OG, and it just I don't believe in this Raptor. We've seen what injuries do to these playoff teams, right? Even smaller ones. When you look at Capella being out for the Hawks, it just changes so much for these teams, right? They rely so much on these guys to get them to this point, and then once they're here, they need those guys. So I think the 76ers take care of business, and I think they probably kind of blow them out, honestly. I don't think it's a particularly close game when you're losing two of your best players, but I think OG can easily get 14 points in those 3 quarters, maybe 4 quarters, however long he plays. 14 points really isn't asking too much. So I really like this combination today.
Yeah, and one thing that I always bring up is just the difference in some of these teams' mindsets in the regular season, where Nick Nurse is playing these dudes 40 minutes plus regularly during the regular season. Bodies can't really take that. That's a lot of minutes, and especially in the playoffs when you're running a 7-man rotation, possibly you drop in 2 guys. I can't even imagine. I mean, maybe a little bit more. Boucher is pretty much the only other option to be off the bench, but I really don't know who they're going to bring off the bench anymore. I mean, Precious Achiuwa is not going to be able to do much here. I think they're going to be riding the 6-man rotation again, and I think it's going to be a tough one. I definitely agree with the Sixers take. What do you think about this, Jacob asking you? Do you think Thibault will be on OG?
Well, not really. I guess Thibault normally is there to guard opposing teams' best players, right? So OG, like being the third scorer, I don't think so. But even if he is out there on OG, the thing is Matisse Thybulle's only playing like 20 minutes a game right now, right? They're balancing him, they're balancing Danny Green, and they're balancing Niang, who will also kind of slide into that wing role. So I'm not too worried about Thibault. I mean, he's obviously a great defender. I don't want to take anything away from him, but I just think there's way, way, way too much opportunity here to let a guy who's playing like kind of 20-ish, 25 minutes get in the way of that one. So I think it's a valid concern, but I think Thibault is probably going to be more stretched around a little bit more than just OG.
Perfect. Love it. I love it. And I bet you if I give you 2 guesses, you're going to guess who I'm going with tonight.
Is it Jalen Brunson? Yes, it is. There we go.
Jalen Brunson. Dude, I have to go back to the well, dude. I was on it last game, PRA. I was also on Gobert rebounds. Thank God I didn't pair it with anything because, my God, dude, 1 shot attempt. What the hell was that, dude? I have no words for that one. That was absolutely crazy, especially with the Mavericks' big concern. But Jalen Brunson played 41 minutes last game, shot 24 shot attempts. This season overall, getting a nice little boost without Luka. He's sitting at a 26.4% usage rate without Luka this season. And partially some of those games were with Kristaps too. So I don't have it with both of them off the floor, but I'm guessing it's over 30% usage rate with both of them gone on the season. And only 34 minutes without Luka. He's averaging 34 minutes per game. I mean, 20.5 points, 4 rebounds, 7.5 assists. And that's in 34 minutes. He played 41 and had 24 shot attempts in game 1. That's really the only reason they were even staying relatively close with this team. The Jazz are tough, but Brunson's going to have to do it all. I mean, there's really no other option here. I mean, obviously Dinwiddie's there, but Brunson's the 1A in this one, in my opinion. Definitely going to be having more of the load on his shoulders there. 9 of 24, so not great shooting, but he still had 24 points in there, even with poor shooting. Imagine if he shoots well or hits 1 more 3. We're seeing this PRA up in the 40s, right? So, I mean, he had 24, 7 boards, 5 assists. Again, PRA, if he can get multiple, he can blow up either one of those stats. I love it. I think his rebound prop was like 4.5. Crushed that one. Assist was like 6. He was still right there and obviously beat his points. So has the ability to beat all 3 numbers. That's what I'm looking for here in a PRA spot. Definitely leading this way today. Hopefully he can shoot a little bit better and make this one a little bit even more less sweaty than game 1. Do you have any thoughts on pretty much my boy here at this point?
Yeah, no, I love this, right? I mean, I love Brunson in general. We've talked about him a lot this year, obviously, but like you say, he's one of those guys that can fill up every single statistical category that is, and that's what we're looking for. You mentioned inefficient shooting. I mean, Brunson's a guy that's known for his efficient shooting, so I think that's something that we can definitely expect. We see a little bit of correction. He may not take 24 shots, but he will, see pretty solid volume. And as for the assist, when you're going against a guy like Rudy Gobert, that means we're going to see a lot of drive and kicks from these point guards, right? Getting in, get that dribble penetration, and then kick it out. You got DFS, you got Bullock, even got my guy Davis Bertans out there taking a couple of shots. So when you line that 3-point, and Kleba too, they're playing Kleba way more than Powell right now because they need to stretch Gobert out, right? So I think there are a lot of factors in this one that make Brunson's a great play. And I might have to tell you on this one too, actually, because I really do like Brunson.
Yeah, quick point here. Obviously, we're trying to keep these videos short, but have you ever seen someone make more of an impact on a game with only taking one shot in your life? Like Gobert was literally grabbing everything. I mean, I think he had 17 boards on one shot attempt. It's like literally looking at like Rodman and shit type numbers up there. Pretty impressive. Even if you ask me, trying to continually staying engaged like that when you're not getting shot attempts. I mean, that's pretty crazy to me.
Yeah, and you see him like boxing out a guy that's like 6'4" in the paint, sticking his arm up. You're like, get him the ball, man. I don't know. We might see that fixed a little bit today, though. We definitely should at least.
Oh, for sure. They'll figure something out. Obviously, they'll find a way. And yes, Kleber's a good shout. 1 3-point is a nice add to a chalkier prop. I do like that. Yeah,
completely. Kleber's going to be someone I dive a little bit deeper into. His overs and Powell unders. I think a lot of these guys. I just hit a Herbert Jones under yesterday. I think a lot of these role player unders, Jackson Hayes ended up going under. I think Royce O'Neal is probably going to go under today too. A lot of these kind of role players that you notice are being shifted off of the court right now are good times to take advantage of unders.
Yeah, that had to be a little bit sweaty there, Turbo, especially when you get 17 boards in that game. My God. But yes, this will be our little transition point. Again, guys, if you have questions, drop them in there. We'll try to get to every single one of them by the time we get to the end here. But let's transfer over back to the baseball diamond here. And we'll get this right off the bat here. You guys like Alex Cobb over 4.5 Ks? I mean, I don't expect an outlier performance like that all the time. Mets are top 5, I believe, in least amount of strikeouts. Alex Cobb is going to be predominantly a splitter guy there too. So I don't know. It's a tough spot. I get where you're coming from, but I mean, he's facing a team here that doesn't really strike out much. I think they're top 5 in least amount of strikeouts on the season. And if they're not, they're 5. Oh, damn. I look at those sheets way too damn much. I'm starting to get them memorized. It's kind of bad. So, yes, I wouldn't be playing it for too much. All right. I think this is pretty much becoming your cash cow play of the year, I guess, now, huh?
Yeah, luckily, too, I didn't even play it yesterday when he got his first hit of the season. So shout out to Victor. Good for him. Got a nice RBI single in yesterday. We've got a tough matchup today, though. Obviously, the Diamondbacks aren't a team we're normally very scared of, but Madison Bumgarner is on the mound, and that is one name that I think we all can respect. Robles doesn't have the biggest game log against him. He only has 2 at-bats, which kind of surprised me. I thought they would have met a little bit more in Victor's rookie year, but they have not. Those 2 at-bats only resulted in a hit by pitch and a strikeout. So we have a very limited sample size, but I'm just going to trust what I've seen all season long. I talked about this maybe last Wednesday, I want to say, maybe whenever we last talked about baseball. Victor is just struggling, man. Like I said, he has 1 hit this season. We're seeing the swing change a lot. He's looking to try to bunt, do anything to get on base, but it's obviously still in the scouting report, right? You're not going to be able to steal a bunt when you're a guy that's hitting .58 this year. They're going to know what you're trying to do too. So Victor's just in a slump right now, and we've got a pretty elite pitcher on the mound, someone who I think he's going to have a lot of trouble with. I think this is, he got his first hit. I normally don't like to, I do believe that baseball is it's a statistical sport. It's an analytic sport first, no doubt. But I do believe in a lot of the narratives kind of surrounding it, right? When a guy feels the, bat hit the ball, I think that does something, right? They play a little bit better after that. but it's just been such a bad season for Victor. Bad 2 seasons, honestly. I'm just going to keep trusting it, keep betting these unders. If they're going to keep giving it to me at -110, -115, I'm just going to keep doing it over and over again.
Yeah, no, it sucks, right? When you're in one of those slumps, man, it's tough to get out of them, especially early on in the season when you start to see people press. It's getting to that time where you're like, oh, we're already a week and a half in. You start seeing guys start cranking and start having the better guys on your team, like Soto getting into the mid threes. It's tough. It's tough, especially when Robles was just as high as a prospect regarded as Soto was, right, when he was coming up. So, yes, I do agree. It is a very momentum, right, type of sport, especially individually when batting. So you definitely see a lot more streaky hitters there. But I'm going to be going with a bold one here. I know I'm going to get some shit for it, but I'm going back to this guy. I don't really care. Oscar, is getting over 4.5 Ks. There's a +115. All right. This is a crazy line to me. I get it. I get the Dodgers are good. The Nationals don't strike out. They're not a strikeout team. They're top 10 in strikeouts, least amount last 2 years. They're 9th this year. The Dodgers are 14th. And we're getting a full strikeout off from their last game. It was sitting at 5.5, I believe, or was it 4.5 super juiced? You had both options to do that. I believe if you wanted 4.5, it was like -130 against the Nationals. Now we're having a team that strikes out a bit more. Obviously, better name value and such. But now you're giving me almost 50 cents better here. And I'm going to take the plus money. Yanoa is filthy. I mean, he's absolutely disgusting. Great stuff. Plus changeup, plus slider. Good fastball. We go into last year. His last, he only threw 1 inning against the Brewers in the postseason. But if you go back prior to those, he hit this number in 5 of the last 6 games of the season, 7 of the last 9 of the season. When he gets deeper into games and doesn't have issue with command, he's striking out a lot of guys. He had 72 pitches in his first outing and still had 4 and missed by the hook, right? So he was not efficient, had a 15 ERA, walked 2 dudes, gave up 8 hits, and still missed by the hook here. The stuff is, like I said, elite. I mean, if you're looking at this number here, I'm looking at a guy who can swing and miss bat or can have swing and misses. That's what you're looking for with strikeout. Do you have a guy who can make people miss? Right. It's tough when you're going with like a Dallas Keuchel or you're rolling with guys who have stuff that is meant to put the ball in play. I've talked about this on my channel prior. And when you have a guy who's going for strikeouts, it's fastball, 4-seam, and it's hard breaking stuff. With the slider, usually predominantly is the spot to go. That's what he's rolling with. He's rolling with high velo fastball, 95 to 97. He's got a great slider. Obviously, the first outing wasn't great. But if you go back to last year, I mean, you're looking at a guy who has a 33% K rate, K percentage with his changeup, 42.9% whiff rate on his changeup, 40% on his slider. Like, that's a lot. That's huge numbers there. And obviously the Dodgers are so good. I get it. I've been backing the Dodgers quite a bit. If you've been following me, I play them a lot. But first game of the series, what has to have a little bounce back here, especially when they're starting to get healthy in their rotation. Kyle Wright looked fantastic. And now you're going up against Clayton Kershaw, who almost just threw a perfect game. I like this. I like this a lot, and I really, really, really like him to come through for us. I mean, I love having those matchups. One versus another guy who's not on the top. He's going to show out. He's got to show out, and he's got lit up his first outing. Kyle Wright, that new guy, had like 7 or 8 Ks. He looked great. That guy could take your job, man. He could easily take your job. You have to come out and perform. This is the spot to do it. Over 4.5 Ks. Give me that plus money. Give me it. I know everybody's going to be like, Dodgers, nope. Hell no. Give me that money. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I was on it last time, and man, I was sweating. I got hooked at 4, obviously, like you mentioned, but there were multiple opportunities, right? So yeah, right, exactly that, going up against Kershaw. I think it's great to go right back to this. Like you said, one of the key things you mentioned right there, he only threw 72 pitches. He very, very well could have went into that next inning, like not even a decision. His stuff just wasn't that great. Like you mentioned in his first outing, he just didn't have it. But this is a guy that obviously has a proven track record, that he has some pretty nasty stuff. So I don't mind going back to the well at all right here, especially at +115 as opposed to, -130 where most people were playing it last game.
Yeah, and let's not get everybody's going to be saying all this stuff about the Dodgers, but they have not faced good pitching. They faced the Twins and they faced the Reds, right? There's no one there that I'm afraid of. Tyler Mahle hit this number and he got blown up too. He hit 5 strikeouts. That's the thing is they're going up against like Vladimir Gutierrez. Like, come on, dude. You're going to obviously blow him up. They're going up against these Twins guys who are not great either. Chris Paddock just got there. It was his first start with him. He got blown up. It's just they haven't really faced high-end guys. And when they did, like Mahle, he still got there. I mean, obviously they hit him a little bit, but he still got there, right? He still got 5 strikeouts. So when they're seeing the heavy velo and they're seeing the good stuff, they are still striking out. It's not like these guys are invincible. I mean, Freddie Freeman didn't get his first RBI till 2 games ago. So, I mean, it's not like these guys are going to just blow these guys up, get them out in the first inning every game. Yes, their lineup looks like they could, but I like having him really good against the righties. And you're going to be rolling out Trey Turner. You're going to be rolling out the other Turner. You're going to be rolling out all these other pretty good right-handed bats that I think that he can get swing and misses on. Hopefully, you're really going to have to get those last 2 or 3 guys in the order, like your Austin Barnes. You're going to have to get those Ks and get them pretty regularly. And no walks. No walks. That was brutal. I had Mahle under 4.5. And yeah, dude, they strike out. They do strike out. And trust me, I've had a lot of money on the Dodgers, and they find a way to strike out in big situations quite a bit. But all right, let's take a look here. Let's see if we got any questions in the chat here. Alan asking, going back to basketball, under 50.5 points for Aaron Gordon. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to go into this playoffs betting overs on Aaron Gordon. I don't know if you noticed, but he went into he finished the last part of the season really strong. I mean, constant 20-point performances, looked really, really sharp. And in that first playoff game, he did not look good at all. He looked outmatched, right? You see a guy that scores most of his points in the paint, right? And when you're going against Draymond Green in the paint, that's always going to be a tough ask. So I do lean the under right now, but that's honestly not something I've thought about that much. I'll definitely, give that one a second look, but I would lean the under for sure, just because it's a tough matchup and he obviously struggled in the first game.
Yes. I don't think we have. I'm trying to look here. If we have any other questions in here? Moody's. Well, tail them both. Hopefully we both get those monies right there. Vaughn's in here talking about Mr. Joker. Do you have any thoughts on Joker today? I was on, I believe I was on rebounds in his first one. Obviously the blowout didn't help, but do you have any thoughts on that play that Mr. Vaughn's talking about? Make sure you guys go follow him as well if you don't already. I'm sure you guys do if you are a fan of the channel.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. Check out his work. He's been killing it. But yeah, Jokic is interesting, right? I mean, the volume is going to be there, right? I think this is one of those situations where, like you said, it's a big deal, right? You need to win this game if you don't want to be a first round exit right here, pretty much. And I think Jokic, what results in that is we're going to see a little bit of kind of hero ball, something we don't really see from him that much, right? We're seeing him constantly get these triple doubles, but when other guys aren't knocking down those shots, we could see crazy shot volume. We could see 30 shots very easily from a guy like Jokic right here. If he feels like he needs to take over this game, then that's what he's going to have to do. So I would 100% lean the over right here. Obviously a tougher matchup, but as we know, he's bigger than anyone on this Warriors team, right? I mean, that doesn't mean everything, but he's obviously has size on Looney and Draymond. So he's going to be able to get opportunities. It's just about if he's going to be able to follow up on these tough shots. And I have confidence he will be. So I think he gets 30 plus tonight.
I love it. Did do the banner on the bottom just to make sure that we, you guys can just pop here at the end if you aren't watching live. I know a lot of you guys pop in later. A couple minutes left. Let's take a look. Bundy under 4.5 Ks. Red Sox have raked him in the past. I did see a few people on the under. The Red Sox are just weird to me, man. They hit the teams they're not supposed to hit. They strike out to the guys they're supposed to. I'd always like taking a Bundy under. I'm never opposed to that. He's not really a guy who's blowing by guys, not really having the stuff to do that. He's more of a sinker ball guy, looking to make contact with them. Obviously trying to induce ground balls. He's one of the better ground ball pitchers in the MLB. The Red Sox just scare me, man. They have games where they just go so cold. And they have these dudes with 2 strikes are trying to take daddy hacks here. Just put the ball in play and go from there. But I've been tough on the Red Sox with the strikeout props. I've been trying to stay away from those games. But I don't know. Do you have any thoughts here?
Yeah, no, kind of just mirroring what you said. I mean, you mentioned it earlier, not even in your analysis of this, but you want to go for the strikeout guys to get strikeouts, right? When you got guys that aren't primarily trying to strike people out, whether they rely on the fly ball, the ground ball. I like to pivot to the outs props, right? If you think maybe they're gonna struggle there, then that's where I would go.
Yeah, no, definitely an outs guy. Like I said, I've kind of gone over it quite a few times on different posts or videos that I've done, and it's hard to explain in the time frame we have, but we'll get a couple more questions here. Thoughts on Maxi's over 2.5 threes? I know you were hitting the 1.5 threes at pretty good money before. Any thoughts on this one here?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Embiid is setting up so many people in this game, right? So it's Maxey, it's Harris. We're seeing all these guys shoot great from beyond the arc, and that's because we're seeing constant doubles on Embiid, and that's kind of what you have to do. The thing is, that game plan didn't work at all, really, in the first game. Even though they did limit Embiid, they still lost pretty badly. Maxey completely destroyed. Harris played well, so the thing about playoff basketball is you always have to remember these coaches are going to be tweaking their game plans between every single game. I would lean the over just because I think you can't try to go one-on-one with Embiid. Like, if that's your solution to your problem, you're still going to lose. So I think he keeps setting people up. It's just about if Maxey can knock down the threes. You mentioned it. This is 1.5 all year. It's playoff time. We've bumped it up a little bit. I would lean the over, but I think maybe Embiid assist might be a better look. I think a lot of guys are going to get a lot of good shots because of Embiid today. So my first thought was kind of a guy like Tobias Harris, who's been playing really well, but obviously Maxey just completely destroyed. So I bet that'll be a popular one today.
Yeah, I mean, I think what they did was the smartest way you can do it, right? I mean, as shitty as it looked, you have to do that. I mean, you have to. And B could easily just drop 45 on these guys if they put a single.
Agreed.
They had to have Maxey show out. They had to Tobias shoot well. They had to have a lot of guys play well. And how many times in a series in 7 games are those guys all going to play well every single time? That efficiency is not going to last. I'm sorry. No team can last that efficient. I mean, they were playing the best basketball I've seen them play this season. It's hard to think that they're going to be able to kind of repeat that 4 times in a row to sweep these guys. So I definitely think that that's a good look. But Maxey is definitely on another planet right now, so might as well go with it. I mean, exactly what we said. He has to show out. I wouldn't be surprised. I think the only thing you'd be worried about is his assists because he's going to have to he's going to really have to take this game over. So I would do points, rebounds probably again. So
100%.
I believe it is V Money Sports. So go follow Vaughn over there. V Money Sports is what he's at there. Allen dropping this one. Golden State Warriors, Philly parlay -136. I mean, the only thing is how much power you think Jokic has, right? That's really it. I'm not worried about Philly, but it's hard for me to bet against Jokic, man. That dude he's like one of the only guys who can just truly just take the game over in every single aspect of the game. He's gonna be the best guy on the court. I know Steph Curry's on the court too, but I mean Jokic is, yeah. I don't know. What are your thoughts on it?
No, I mean, you can tell which one I like more. Obviously, I was looking at what I wanted to pair with OG, right? And I was looking at it, and Golden State pays a little bit better, right? But I really do think Philadelphia wins this game convincingly. While I think Golden State, I like what they're doing a lot over there too, but I think exactly like you said, pretty much, I'm a little bit more scared of the Nuggets than I am the Raptors at this point. I know the Nuggets aren't built to have a sustained playoff run, but to just win a single game in the playoffs, like with Jokic just being able to do everything on any given night, he's shown he can do that before in past playoff series, whether that was against Portland, where it was really just Jokic versus the world. I think that's what I would lean, just the Philadelphia side, but I do think this wins. I think Golden State probably does win, but just like you, I am a little bit scared of the Nuggets. Maybe it's a little bit irrational, but that's personally why I'd probably stay off adding Nuggets money line to any of my plays.
Love it, love it, love it. Joe's in here talking about how Gordon single-handedly killed it. So I agree, dude. He played terrible basketball last game. So 100% agree. Last thing in here, 2 threes for Maxey, 3 Embiid assists. I think very easily correlated here if we need to do that. But yeah, I really like that spot. I think that's really good.
100%.
So we're going on that 30-minute mark. We don't really need to do a recap because we have the plays right here, all of the plays right there. Obviously, both of our plays on one NBA, one MLB. We're at that 30-minute mark. Tried to be under that. We'll finish it up here. Monotone, you got anything for the people to say here? Anything, final thoughts before we dip on out?
Yeah, normally we like to keep these 15 to 20 minutes, but when we go 30, it obviously shows we really fucking like what we're talking about, right? I feel great about what I said today, and then both of the plays you mentioned, I absolutely love. So it's feeling like another one of those 4-0 shows that, would feel good. So I'm really excited to, I see the sweep in the future. I'm just ready to spend that money now.
Yeah, I am. I'm very excited. Happy to get some plus money on there as well. Yeah, little over, little unders every single spot. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys are the best, tuning in at odd times whenever we switch it up. But we should be getting onto a pretty easy schedule here where it's going to be at this time most of the time. But yeah, I love it. Nice, easy show. I'm feeling great about the spots. And yes, I am going to rub it in when I get over in 5Ks and 2 innings. I'm gonna be freaking out a little bit there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for all popping on here this morning. You guys are the best. We will talk soon. Have another show on Wednesday for you guys. Hopefully you can pop in for that one. So best of luck on your bets. Have a great Monday. Have a good week. Peace.